Hi guys, it's Sarah, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you contortion tricks that are not nearly as hard as they look. Now, not everything in this video is necessarily going to be easy, it's just that something that, at least in my opinion, looks a lot harder than it is. These will be in varying degrees of difficulty. And also, for a lot of these skills, I will not be providing a very direct tutorial in this video because I already have tutorials for some of these, but without further ado, let's get on with the video. So the first thing I would like to talk about is doing like kickovers on your elbows. So basically what I'm talking about is just doing that, like kicking over, not necessarily going into it that way, that's also I think easier than it looks, but just doing a kick over, and also something that's kind of similar to a kick over, but is a back limber, what it's called when you do it with 2 feet, which is that. So I feel like it looks a lot harder than it is because, you know, it seems like a kick over and back limber, which are very hard skills in comparison to this, but basically because you're...
Hey guys! I feel like a bit of my explanation in that part of the video didn't really make sense, so I thought I would try to explain it again. So what I was trying to get across is that if you're going to do a kickover normally, the height that is propping you up on your arm side is like this whole length of your arm. But if you're going to do it on your forearms, you only have like half this length because the other half is what you are putting your weight on. So because of that less length propping you up, it gives the same effect as if you were to do a kickover with a big block that your feet are on.
Since you're just on your forearm like this, I just feel like it looks harder because, I don't know, at least for me, that's not something I immediately thought of when I first saw the skill, and also because, for me at least, since if you are just very basic gymnastics student, the first stuff they'll teach you will be stuff like handstands and bridges and kickovers on your hands as opposed to your forearms. So I just always assumed it would be harder, even though that is not the case at all. And it's just that they teach you stuff on your hands first. So, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, which is why I didn't really go into it that much. But basically, kind of the only thing you need to work on is have just enough back flexibility in order to be able to go down on your elbows, which isn't necessarily incredibly basic, but you need like that amount of back flexibility in order to do a kickover or back limber. Anyway, so now the second thing that I would like to talk about is, actually before I go into that, I'm just going to say one other thing. Also, doing stuff like balancing in an elbow stand is much easier than a handstand because being on your forearm just gives you more balance. But again, for like the reasons I talked about before with like being on your forearms is not the first thing you learn when you learn gymnastics. It'll be on your hands. I assumed it would be harder. But yeah, it's just also easier to balance, and I thought I'd mention that when I was talking about elbow stands. But now, back into what I was going to be talking about. The second thing that is a lot easier than it looks is doing a needle scale.
Hey guys! So I thought I would show you this picture of me doing a needle scale, which is from my needle scale tutorial video, next to this photo of me, which is the best photo I have of me doing a needle from my showing flexibility photos of me from when I was younger and a dancer video. So basically, I feel like these two skills look almost comparable to each other in difficulty, but this one is much easier. And just to show that, I thought I would also add this current photo of me doing a scorpion from my scorpion tutorial video, which is a current photo of me from now that I've quit dance for a while. So just as you can see, this is current me trying to do a scorpion / needle, and this is me doing a needle skill just to show how much easier it is. If you want to learn how to do this skill, you should watch my needle scale tutorial video.
This is a skill that I personally do not find easy. I think it's semi-intermediate, but I feel like it looks a lot like you're doing a needle, which is a much harder skill. So even though I wouldn't say it's a very basic skill, I'd say it still falls into the much easier than it looks category. And then the final thing that I would like to talk about is doing an oversplit leg hold.
So this is a photo of me doing an oversplit leg hold from my how to do a leg hold or bow and arrow tutorial. So basically, as you can see, it's an oversplit. So it looks like, it's an oversplit, and it's much more than just a regular middle split. But it is actually easier than just doing a regular middle split. And since I found this weird, I asked about it on Reddit, and apparently it's a common phenomenon to find being able to do an oversplit leg hold or oversplit bow and arrow easier than just a regular middle split, because what is being stretched in this position is apparently different than just what is being stretched in a normal middle split.